Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a very special episode of the Skylanders Carryon Locke, to where we are going to be tackling 2 of the 4 Adventure Pack levels available for Skylanders Giants, and that begins with, unfortunately, my least favourite of the 4, Empire of Ice, but that means we can get my least favourite out of the way sooner and leave way for my favourite ones to come later on. Save the best for last. Well, not the literal best for last, because Dragon's Peak is not quite as good as Darklight Crypt. Yes, I said it in the words of Mighty Tough Luck. If you disagree with me, you're gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, right here, Undead is powerful here, so that means we need to switch out for a Skylander representative corresponding with that element. So in this case, since Series 1 Cinder is our only Undead representative remaining, that is the character we're going to be going with, whom is not even at level 15 yet, apparently. Let's hope that that's not going to come back to bite me in the ass. They take down all these fools. As you can tell, they have changed up the enemies a little bit, so rather than that being a Cyclops, it's basically one of those bomb enemies that was introduced during Glacier Gully, but they changed out as bomb for a snowball. So yes, it's very clever how they've utilised the Giants' assets to rebuild these levels, so to say. The Altar of Eyes, where of course, rather than introducing us to a new enemy, they give us the next closest thing, an Executioner, where obviously Zap is going to be taking him out because he has far more traversal skills on the ice than what Whamshell possesses. Plus, it's been ages since we've seen this legendary character on the screen. Okay, dodging this guy is a lot harder on the ice. Let's just go as far to say that much, shall we? This is why when they did combat in Glacier Gully, they never did any of it on the ice. They realised that this right here, this is torture. Okay, I meant to get out of the way, but my attack didn't initiate, despite me having pushed the button, mind you. So yes, just about everything that could be going wrong right now is... Oh, never mind, he's dead, so I suppose things could be going even more wrong than this. But just saying a lot, because things are already going pretty wrong. Okay, let's move forward. It is very interesting revisiting these levels with the Giants stuff, you know, being able to go through them on night mode, for example. That is pretty cool indeed. What's also pretty cool is when I take down all these chompies. Let's frickin' go. Now that little tablet thing right there, turns out it is a story scroll, a bonus story scroll, because these don't actually count towards your story scroll objectives going through the main game. So yes, we could listen to the story scroll. Here is cut. That doesn't mean we should. So let's continue popping through here, once again with the might of Zap's maneuverability coming in very much great use in this level, where, you know, maneuverability isn't really its expertise, shall we go as far to say, but we're back, well, we're back to Frozen Waste for now. Let's grab this food, because I do believe water pops up again fairly soon, so we might as well just stick with Zap, at least for the moment being, because yes, I am in fact correct, water has popped up, so now that water is back, it would have been a huge waste of time to swap out the Cinder, not engage in any combat whatsoever, only to have to swap back to Zap all over again. You know what a huge waste of time that would have been indeed. Okay, let's get that guy out of here. Also grab some treasure whilst we're at it, because I do love myself some sweet, glorious treasure along the way. And also we're going to take hits, because why not, right? No, not an executioner! Anything but an executioner! Get out the way, Zap, damn it! Do the attack that I pushed the button for when I push that button to do the attack. I don't think I'm asking for much. I don't think I'm asking for much for my interactive video game to actually be interacted with. Or maybe I am, who's to say? Apparently the video game has to say in the matter. And I don't like much what the video game is saying. Come on, Zap! Matt, the ice and executioners do not mesh very well, do they? Okay, here we go. Now we finally grabbed that piece, and hopefully the remaining sections of the level are going to be dedicated to a different element before I wind up losing Zap and having to revert to his original for no good reason whatsoever. And the thing is that I need Series 2 Zap, because the water sections of the Arcane Trilogy are really tough, so I need as many water lives as possible. Water lives matter. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab that. Sweet! We're missing only one final piece, but for that we've got to go into the artillery quarters of the entire Ice Cyclops Empire. So Undead is more powerful here. Once again, I'm not sure how long that's going to last. So for now, let's stick with Zap. Blow up that wall. Grab the food. And then we're going to see whether this remains as Undead or whether it swaps to Tech. I did have my suspicions that Tech will be popping up sometime soon, which is why we're going to be swapping out for Bouncer, as he corresponds to the current element of the area. Hey, you're firing rockets at me? Well, newsflash for you. I have rockets too. But unfortunately, their rockets are the only rockets capable of taking out those there barriers. Rather convenient, actually. Look at these chompies, they are so going down. Told you so. Like, look at them, they didn't stand a chance. And neither does his execution. Not from back here, where I can target him before he even attacks me. Oh, this is great. Die, 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 die. Or not. There you go, that's more like it. Okay, let's go over here, where obviously the artillery will target the barrier in our wake. Get that barrier out of here. Oh no, not that fella. Anything with that fella. Ow. Especially when they're dealing damage to me. I don't much like it when they deal damage to me. Oh, thank God I can actually, like, not slide over here. That is very much convenient. I like that. I like that quite a lot, actually. Yes, now that's some good rocketing right there. Oh, we don't even need to defeat that guy in order to get past this bit here. But we're going to go ahead and defeat him anyway, because he's exposed. We're not going to let this go unpunished. Haha! Sweet! Anyway, we have more barriers to blow up, apparently. That's going to hit us, but fortunately on Nightmare mode, that only deals a small tad bit of damage. A little tiny bit. Which for Bouncer's hitbox, which is, well, his hitbox is extended, but as is his health bar. So for Bouncer's extended health bar, you know, that's not even going to be a small percentile of what his health has to offer that's being dealt damage to right there. That is convenient, very much so. But now that we've built the catapult, we can finally bring an end to this level in the most boring fashion possible, as an undead Skylander no less. So Cinder is going to have to take down that wall, and she's going to make a real slow job of it. That's the problem with the end of this level. It's slow, and it is boring, and it brings the entire pacing to a crawl. Whoever signed off on this section of the game, I sincerely hope they were fine, because this is not fun. This is not the face of a man who's having fun. This is the face of a man who is being tortured with the worst Skylander section of all time. I hate this section. I hate it so much. And I say it without a hint of sarcasm. Not even a shadow of doubt. Like, yeah, without a doubt. Without a single doubt. This is the worst section in Skylander's history. I just hate this section of the game with that much of a burning passion, mind you. Quite literally too, because we are firing off fireballs which are burning. Hence the burning passion. But we want to target the bottom of the wall, because if we destroy the bottom of the wall, then everything else on top of it crumbles along with it. It's pretty convenient, actually. Pretty convenient how, for once, Skylanders has actually cared about gravity and physics. This is the only time, so don't get used to it. Usually when it comes to gravity and physics in the Skylanders game, those are the first things thrown out the window. They take physics, see ya! Get it out of here. Nobody cares about realistic physics in a Skylanders game. Right. Right. No, generally I'm asking, right? Anyway, why won't this wall just die? I hate this wall. I hate it so much. This wall, it is my dreaded enemy. Die. Die some more. Why won't this wall just get out of it? Well, I have asked this question already, and already I have not received a response. There's no point in me asking the same question over and over again, expecting a different response every time. After all, that would be pretty insane, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result every time. So yes, I've asked the question once already, it didn't get answered, it was more of a rhetorical question really, so there's no point in asking the question all over again. Though still, why? Why are you doing this to me? Oh, I want that, thank you. And we wasted it. Sounds about right. There we go, charge up for a little bit longer. Well, that was rude, dealing damage to me like that. We're just gonna stay here. And it's not like the damage here is excessive. It's not like your regular nightmare mode where you're dealing, where you're dealt ridiculous damage to from all of that. Ooh, cake! Plus, cake exists. So yeah, taking damage is literally no big deal whatsoever. And that barrel is gone. It's out of here, man. Didn't stand a chance, it didn't. Okay, once again, how are you still not dead yet? You should so be dead by now, and yet you're not. You're not because you just want to watch me suffer. This is Drillex's big rig all over again, watching me suffer through Drillex's big rig with Series 2 Wrecking Ball, only to defeat him at the very end anyway. You know, and then that led to Series 1 Wrecking Ball also being defeated in combat, and since the original was defeated in combat, they are now classed as dead and cannot be used throughout the remainder of the Locke. With Wrecking Ball have been lost, Voodoo is now reverted to our only magic representative, so that's going to make magic sections all more tougher, because trust me, I do not want to lose Voodoo. We want to keep him alive so that then we can upgrade to his elite version in Superchargers. The wall is destroyed. We love to see Voodoo, we love to see it! Anyway, with that having been said and done, we found only one of the treasure chests. I don't much care. What I do much care about now is the fact that Pirate Seas will be our next level to explore. So once Captain Flynn's ship has loaded in, which it has done indeed, let's skip over that on this heading too, then press that ship upon the portal of power. They asked me, should I stay or should I go now? Well, the question is, we're obviously going to the Pirate Seas itself, where life will be our first element that pops up. So for that, we're going to anticipate it already and swap out immediately. Well, as if the game didn't have to be returned into the portal first. But anyway, as soon as this is said and done, we are going to switch out now. For Shroom Boom, anticipate the live section popping up, and we might as well play Shroom Boom because we played a Stump Smash for this section originally. I think it's about time we had a different face for it. Yeah, take out them fools right there. I am glad we got through Empire of Ice completely unscathed. If we were defeated to fucking Empire of Ice of all things, then I would not have been much chuffed. I would not have been much chuffed at all. Ow! Wow, that's a lot of damage. Anyone would think I'm playing a Nightmare mode. Okay, so let's make our way all the way around him, slowly but surely, only to finish him off, and now we have ourselves a pirate card game, which is the bane of my existence. I hate this game, I hate it so much, especially when, for resolution right now, it's just like a pixelated, blurry mess. Anyway, we have two maps, as well as a schooner, which is right below the other schooner. That is convenient. So let's match up the final two swords, and then we can move on with the level already. That's one of many, 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 many more to come. I hate these card games. They really interrupt the pacing of the entire level. And speaking of the pacing of the entire level, I can't skip this right now. This is a dreaded. It is a dreaded, unskippable cutscene. This is tragic. This is like a scene from a horror movie, except from the fact that it's 10 times worse than the scene from a horror movie. Oh well. It's inconvenient that they captured him, but it's convenient that we know where he is now. Okay, now we have some more fools long way to deal with though, so we'll start with this fella. Boom! Yeah, nice try. Well, I say nice try, fella. It wasn't, so I lied. To deal with it was mighty tough work. So let's finish these guys off. Slowly but surely we will at least. And there we go. I would hate to think how much damage that guy deals in Nightmare mode, so my plan is basically to just not get hit by him in the first place. Anyway, Earth is now officially stronger here, as I just about take my head off with my headset cables. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch from one core, newly introduced in this game, to another. We're going to switch from Shroom Boom to Flash Ring. It seems only right, after all. Yes, take them all out. Every last one! Now that's what we're talking about, baby! Also, take out the barrels, because the barrels had to come in for looking at me funny. Oh dear, that was way too much damage for comfort. Okay, we need to be careful now. I forgot for a moment that this was Nightmare mode. I'm way too accustomed to playing through these levels on Spy's Adventure where obviously the damage isn't quite as absurd. I tried to charge up my blast and that's ultimately what that's what almost spelled out my defeat in the end there. You know, that's what I took so much damage from, taking too long to charge it up and being completely exposed to enemies at the time. Luckily for me, this is what I have healing for. Platinum is close to death. Keep it here is close. But close she shall be to death no more. So between those two cuts right there, I certainly did have a couple of things change. First of all is the setup in its entirety. Yes, I have changed up the face cam since I was previously playing through this level. And that's because I did play through this level. In fact, I beat it in all. But then what wound up happening is that midway through the recording of this level, because the recording file was so long and my laptop was basically on its last legs, you could hear it in the background the entire time, in fact. So those fan noises you've been hearing, that's from my laptop overheating. So in other words, because my laptop isn't very powerful, because the recording was going on for so long and the file size was so huge, basically the laptop had given up with the recording software. So the recording software froze and I didn't have the recording, basically everything past this point. So here I am having to re-record everything past this point for a second time. I have to be very careful with these dudes because they are more or less, as you saw right there, a one-shot. They are very remarkably close to it all the same. The last thing I need to do is have to go through and heal Flashwing a second time, mind you. But luckily for us, she's just too much of a badass to die to these fools. That is, so long as I get my spacing correct, because otherwise I'm going to get hit by that guy and it would be tragic. I would really be eating my own words then, wouldn't I? So we're going to continue explaining a couple of things as I enter this pirate card game. So basically, because the Elgato software didn't run very well on my old laptop, because my old laptop, as I said earlier, it's on its last legs. Granted, the thing is about 4.5 years old, so it has done me very well for the price I paid for it to have lasted me as long as it did and to have been as powerful as it was. But I have moved on from that laptop since. I have garnered myself a brand new laptop, which is first of all why I no longer hear fans overheating in the background, so that's one main benefit to the new laptop. But also it handles software much better, so not only my editing software with Premiere Pro, but also my recording software in the first place, like for example Elgato. So my screen recording software is running much more smoothly through this okay, so now I know where 2 maps are, but through this laptop my Elgato software is running much more smoothly, and so hopefully instances where my recording just freezes entirely midway through the level, hopefully such instances won't happen again, not with this new laptop I have, mind you. In fact, I'm able to record this at 1080p 60 FPS, which is the same as the source for the Elgato, so that makes a nice change. The fact that the gameplay can be a little bit smoother and look a little more crisper. And again, that's thanks to the more powerful hardware built into my laptop, which is an Asus VivoBook Pro 15 OLED. It's quite a mouthful, I know, but it is glorious. These episodes used to be a pain when it came to editing them, because to render and export them would take about 12 hours. Oh, we know where both of those ships are then. But what used to take me 12 hours to render and export on this new laptop takes me 90 minutes. That should show you how much of an upgrade I've gone for just from those words alone that I've just stated. The specs are very high end, which would explain as to why the laptop cost me close to £200. That's right, I almost spent 2 Gs on this laptop. But you know what? I would sell myself for this laptop. This laptop, it is worth it. What's also worth it is getting these 2 beards matched up right now. Get some extra seconds. But yes, that was a lot to explain all at once. The point is, the original recording gave up on me because my laptop just couldn't handle it. Its specs weren't nearly high enough. Okay, we know where the other pirate curse is, so we'll just make sure not to match them up. Not that matching up a single pair with the curse is that big a deal. We just have to sit through the animation beforehand, but swapping 2 isn't going to decrease my chances of actually getting it correct. You know, there's still only 2 on the board to match up, so it'll be kind of impossible to get that matchup wrong. Anyway, what we're going to do here is that whilst we have used Zap in this episode already, we're going to use Zap again because I do not trust Ramshell to make it through this section alive. And I'd rather keep him alive for as long as possible because the Swap Force gets upgraded to his Light Core version and garner a second life, which is pretty much crucial in this series because I need as many characters and as many lives moving forward when it comes to Trap Team, Superchargers, and Imaginators are my true fear in this series because Imaginators we're going to be playing through largely with cores. We'll be lucky if we even get a single Sensei on the random name generator. So with these characters being generated at random and no guarantee for Senseis and Imaginators, playing through it with cores only is going to be a lot tougher. Then Trap Team is self-explanatory as to why I'm concerned with that because of its insane difficulty there, mind you. But then, obviously, moving on from that, let's flip these over. So we got some Blackbeard, and that is not a pair! Last time I checked, not a pair indeed. I wonder how much of this I'm going to wind up cutting out like I did for the Spyro's Adventure edit. But yeah, speaking of which, I didn't even know that my Elgato had cut off the recording midway through this level until I got around to editing this episode, and I realised that half the footage from the latter half of this level was missing. Luckily, I am yet to have recorded any of the levels after this one, so we're just going to go through like we normally would, completing those levels after this is said and done with. So we have 2 more episodes of Giants remaining after this one. We've had a Blackbeard already, that guy's up there. But yeah, Superchargers, my only concern is the vehicle sections, because obviously, as I'm going to do with all of my prior looks, vehicle deaths do contribute towards defeats, so naturally losing characters in the vehicle sections could lose me for Locke if I'm not careful, because those vehicle sections, they can be brutal. What's not so brutal on the other hand is getting a match and finally getting the hell out of here. But yes, that was a lot to explain all at once. I have changed my setup entirely. In terms of face cam, that is. In fact, in terms of everything, I now have a new laptop with superior hardware, so things are turning out a lot more smoothly in terms of editing has become easier for me now. And the computer can basically just handle the kind of things I throw at it, such as recording software. It being able to actually record videos in the first place is pretty important to the whole YouTube business, so to say. Now let's get this guy out of here and speak with his foolish friend, whom we're going to beat at their own game, mind you. Let's get some pirate cards and then get this guy out of here. Start off with some booty, don't mind if we do. And in fact, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do all of you a favour. We've seen these card games time and time again, especially in this series. We've seen them previously in Spyro's Adventure. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to skip over it in its entirety. I'll see you once it's done. Okay, we're now done with this tedious card game. I have indeed won. Congratulations for noticing that game. In fact, a huge congratulations are in order, because me winning wasn't abundantly clear. I never would have been able to figure that out on my lonesome without the game's handicap. Like, honestly, I'm so stupid that I never could have figured out that I'd won on my own. That's just how stupid I am. Man, I feel like that one scene in Friends right now when they're filling out all the information at the hospital. It's like, yeah, let's just do something very stupid and commit the insurance fraud, which is something that a concept rather quite alien to a Brit such as myself, because health insurance isn't particularly too important here in the UK. Granted, obviously it is an option. You can get health insurance the same as you can get any insurance, but for basic hospital procedures here in the UK, for the most part, it's free. Anything cosmetic, such as like lumps on your chest, I don't know, like physical threat to your health, that is all like paid for. So laser eye surgery and stuff, despite it being a medical procedure, it's purely cosmetic, so that stuff we have to pay for. But anything that's classified as, you know, it doesn't even need to be a medical emergency, just anything medical whatsoever, tends to be free with our NHS system. Free healthcare in the UK is a major benefit, which I have, unfortunately, had to have taken advantage of several times in my life, such as, for example, when I broke my left clavicle, and for some reason, after I broke it the first time and realised that, hey, it is really painful when you break a bone. So, I learnt my lesson the first time, right? Broke my left clavicle. I decided, you know what would be a great idea? Let's go and break it again. So the first time I broke it, I must have been only about 6-7 years old. I don't remember the exact like time in my life it happened. I just remember it being a birthday party for one of my youngest cousins. In fact, it might just be my youngest cousin, given that I don't think my second cousin after that would have even been born yet. But my aunt, which is obviously the mother of this cousin of mine, oh yay! Paired up some hats right there. It's very hard to speak and concentrate on getting these matches at the same time. Well, at least now I know where both the pirate curses are. Not very useful for telling my story, that is, though. Oh, but it is useful when they're put together. That's nice. That's lovely, that is. We have seen the schooner already. I just can't for the life of me remember where it was we've seen it. That's the sword, so there's the one right next to the schooner. No, it's not, so that makes this one the schooner. Nope, that's the cannon. And that's Peekaboo. Obviously, trying to tell my story midway through this cards game was not the grandest of ideas, but say, my aunt being with the NHS, obviously, as free healthcare service I've been talking to you all about already. One of the benefits of living in the UK is that free healthcare service that we get to experience. You know, we don't have to pay a ridiculous fee. Because I know for a fact in America, to have the same procedures done to my arm that I got on the NHS for free, it would have cost me hundreds upon hundreds of pounds. So yeah, that would have been lovely, especially given that I was a student at the time and had no money. In fact, just for the ambulance ride alone in America, it's particularly expensive, whereas in the UK, you can at least call an ambulance for free in case of medical emergencies, of course. That's swords, that's not very useful. Oh, but the Peekaboo certainly is. So the first time we was at this birthday party my aunt was hosting, and with her being part of the NHS, she had as the guest there a bunch of trainee NHS staff, as well as a bouncy castle for all the kids. Obviously, you know, it was a kid's birthday party after all. So I decided let's indulge on some fun times on a bouncy castle. Only that my uncle decided to show me a little trick that he concocted, but I did the trick horribly, horribly wrong and landed funny on the left side of my body, henceforth breaking my left clavicle. The worst part was that I was there as a 6-year-old screaming my head off because I was in so much pain, and all the NHS staff, all of the people who were training up to become qualified doctors, they were saying, oh no, there's nothing wrong with his arm, he's just trying to draw attention to himself, you know, there's nothing wrong, his arm is fine. They were all saying this. My mum decides that, hey, my child is in a lot of pain right now, he is screaming his head off at every small movement of his left arm right now. The funniest thing is that my uncle, who bear witness to the whole event, when my mum started questioning things, asked what happened, and so my uncle showed her what I did and how I did it wrong. And then when he landed funny in his left arm, he felt the pain too. So he wound up breaking his left clavicle much like I did. And he was in a lot of pain, realising now what it was that I did wrong. So all these trainee doctors, they've said nothing was wrong with me. My mum, being the wise person she is, took me to the hospital anyway, and we had the x-ray done, which I remember took a very, very long time, because waiting around for an x-ray in A&E is not a short experience, mind you. So we were waiting around for hours on end to find out that, yes, my left clavicle had indeed been broken, and all of these trainee doctors around were absolutely useless in helping the matter. This screaming child, who you would think in that much pain, is just trying to draw attention to themselves. Yes, right, like my pain. Like I need to be in pain to have all this attention drawn upon me. And I wasn't even at attention seeking as a child, which is why my mum knew something was wrong, because to draw attention I would never have done that. In fact, I wouldn't have been that bothered about attention in the first place, much like I am in real life. I was rather introverted as a child and like to keep to myself. I wouldn't care about attention or being sociable. So yeah, that stem has taken root, and it's how I am now. It's not really something that you notice on camera. On camera, I'm a lot more extroverted and excitable, whereas in real life, I'm very much, by every definition of word, an introvert. But yes, that hurt like hell, so the wise old genius I am decided, let's do it again. Granted, this was several years later. This was about 15-ish years later. This was when I started YouTube, and I even made a whole post about it. But I was approaching a junction on my bike when I first started delivering for Uber Eats. And I was approaching this junction rather quickly because I did not realise that it was a give-way junction. So I was ready to power straight through it, but then when I noticed the give-way sign at the last minute and I noticed cars racing round the bend, because here's the thing, our junction, we had to give way even though we were going straight on. It was the cars going around the turn that had the right of way, which is why I was confused. I'm also confused myself here, picking out for a move curse twice apparently. Oh, that's convenient. So, yeah, I hit this junction a little too quickly, slammed on the brakes, and so the bike jolted forwards, flipped me off, and I went flying, arse over tit, mind you, straight into the hard asphalt below me. Not only did I crack my head open and start bleeding out, ooh, I know where the 2 remove curses are, and where the sands of time are. That's convenient, that is. Alright, let's start with the sands of time. Yeah, that's great. Now let's get for 2 remove curses. Not that I've been paying too much attention to the game, I've been too busy with my story here. But say that was also the second time I cracked my head open, which again was another NHS experience. So it goes to show that as a kid, even still to this day, I was prone to injuring myself. Okay, so there's the swords. I can't remember where the other swords is though. Oh, but I have recollected where the she-beards can be found. That was fantastic, very much so. Cannon! Oh! Well, isn't that convenient? Compass, I can't remember where the compass is. Not there, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, for that, I broke my left clavicle and it hurt like hell. Cracking my head open, I lost a pint of blood. I wasn't able to give blood for 3 months after that, which is a common practice of mine. I love to give blood knowing that it's going to go towards saving people's lives. It's very important to me, which is why I do it as frequently as possible. It's very hard to do that when you've already lost a pint of blood and have to wait another 3 months for obviously the iron levels in your blood to regenerate after that. So yes, I'm just prone to injuries. I broke my left clavicle twice because the first time I just clearly didn't get the message. That and also my left side is incredibly frail. My right side, on the other hand, you could take a shotgun to it and the bullets would just bounce right off. My right side is indestructible. Explain to me how I've never broken a single bone on my right side if I'm not indestructible. Now I have telekinetic powers and I'm indestructible. Regardless, I think it'll be rather interesting to save the rest of this story for next week, so I'll be seeing you then, but until that moment we have an outro to see us through. Until then... I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!